is a commercial supplier. They do sell to hobbyists as well, but they have facilities that have thousands of these running in greenhouses over in Holland. Of course, they have massive computers in these greenhouses that are much more technical and function many more types of equipment. But what they did is they took that concept, they made it for standard indoor growers, and then used the EL-1 or EL-2 to be more simplified than a commercial greenhouse computer would be, but with a lot of the functionality that growers need. The Gavita EL-2 and EL-1 are completely different. They're made for commercial grow facilities. You're going to have a licensed electrician setting up the grow room. So what he's going to create is a power center, And this power center, all your ballasts. So imagine you have, as you're a commercial grower, you have a bunch of ballasts. Imagine each one of these is a Gavita 1000, Gavita 750, Gavita 600, whatever you desire. It's that fixture. And you have a warehouse or a greenhouse possibly. And you're running a bunch of these lights. So the big difference of the EL-1 and the EL-2 is the EL-1 will run up to 40 lights and the EL-2 will run up to 80 lights. That's the only difference really between the two controllers. The EL-1 has one relay output and the EL-2 has two relay outputs that can go to separate equipment other than the grow lights. But the real big difference is the EL-1 does up to 40 Gavitas and the EL-2 will do up to 80 Gavitas. So you have your EL-1, you have your EL-2, and you have your commercial grow center box. Now all of your ballasts are going to be plugged into this grow center. It could be hardwired in, but each of your ballasts, their power lines, are going to go into that grow center. So every ballast is going to have a separate power line that's going to grow into that grow center. And the power line comes right off the ballast. Remember, the Gavita is a complete fixture. So it has no lamp cord, but it has a ballast power cord. Now you might ask yourself the question, how does the EL-1 and EL-2 tell the ballast to turn on or off? Your power center always has power. So all of your ballasts are going to be powered into are going to be controlled into the power center. And the big difference of the EL-1 and EL-2 in comparison to the regular light timers that you're used to seeing, in the EL-1, EL-2 video you saw a little phone cable and it plugs into the ballast. So this EL-2 is actually talking to this ballast. Now all you do is you daisy chain that cable to each of the ballasts. And again, it's just a phone cable connection or a data cable. And it's just daisy chain to the ballast. Not every one of them needs to go into EL-1 and EL-2, just the first ballast on the line, and then it talks to these ballasts. And that's really the big difference of this unit, is that you have a very simple system. It's very easy to operate using the EL-1 and EL-2, but you are sending all the information through a data cable as daisy chains throughout the garden, where your power plugs are always going to be plugged into the power center. And the EL-1 and EL-2 are just going to tell the ballast to turn on or off, That's the difference of the smart Gavita versus the older Gavitas, is they have the smart technology, not necessarily in the ballast, but in the EL-2. And the EL-2 is just telling the ballast what to do. So the ballasts are really operating kind of like standalone in comparison to the equipment that you had before, where the EL-1 or EL-2 is the brain, and the ballast, it's just telling the ballast, which is really just talking to this first ballast, it's talking to that ballast, talking to that ballast. It's all simultaneous, but it's all instant. But in its essence, it's almost like an ant colony. You know, we're following the leader. You know, we have the brain centralized here, and he's feeding information to this guy, it's feeding information to that, it's feeding information just down through the line. But these are always plugged into the power supply. And that's actually one of the reasons why this is actually easier on the equipment to turn on and turn off, because of the way that this EL-2 or EL-1 talks to the ballast, tells them to turn on, tells them to turn off. And because it's powered this way, this is actually the more commercial way to set up your garden, power supply wise, in conjunction with a lighting controller.
It will run through the controller. Lights on, lights off. Really, really simple. We go to the second one, is output level. It's like your dimming button at the moment. Actually, you can set it at any level you want. So if you want your ballast to run at 870 watt, you can run it at 870 watt. Actually, with the Gavita, you can see, actually, we can go up to 1150, as you know. So that's your dimming button. Then you have light cycle. It's your timer. It's your on, your off. So that's the timer. Then we have aux function. Aux function, you can have two banks of 40 ballast running as one room, follow main, or actually inverse, and it's the flip-flop. So you can flip a room 12-12. So you can actually do 2 rooms with this.
So it's a flip box as well.
It's a flip box as well. Then we have an auto dim temperature. So at auto dim temperature, normally it will be at 82. I will put it at 75 for show only. And actually you will see the temperature dropping. I will show you that when I go back to the beginning, and I'm getting the sensor out, and I will go up to 75. And one moment you see it, we're 68, 70. We're almost there. I got warm hands, that makes it easy. 74. And now actually you see the 2 banks dropping down, and it's automatically dimming. This is dimming on percentage. That means that if the system has to run at 830 watt or 720 watts to actually stay within your temperature setting, it will do that. So we go to the next one. Shutdown temperature. Shutdown temperature you put at 95.
So it's your hot temperature shut off.
This is your hot temperature shut off.
Your air conditioner fails.
Your fan fails. You got a fire. Anything really bad, it will shut down at 95. You actually have to manually reboot this. But you have a cage clamp on this side, and actually you can put that to your home alarm system as a sensor. And actually when this high temp shutdown happens, you get a little nudge on your telephone, and you might want to take a lunch break.
And you can set it higher than 95.
You can set it, well, here, I would let me do this. So I can set it at 96.1, enter, and now it's at 96.1. I mean, this is intuitive controls. It's made to work like the human mind. Shutdown temperature. Then we have another nice one. This is sunrise sunset. So normally when you have when you shut down your lights, you get the big humidity peak because your plants are still transpiring, and that's where the big humidity peak is, where rot comes from and where mildew comes from. So for the last 2 weeks of your grow, you're going to use this. You can set a ramp time between 11 and 30 minutes and actually ramp the lamp down from 1000 watt to 500 watt really slowly, gradually pre-cooling your room until it shuts off, and then you only have 1/3 of the humidity peak. Great solution. System time, calibration. We have a temperature sensor. As you guys know, all the temperature sensors in your room are slightly different. Everybody of different manufacturers are slightly different on their temperature. That's a hell to figure out and to tweak out. So you can take our temperature probe and calibrate it to your AC temperature probe, so they're exactly the same, so you never have that problem occur. Language, we do 5 languages: English, Dutch, French, German, and Spanish. I think you guys will prefer the English one. And we have a factory reset. The little box has a little cell, energy cell, that will remember all your settings for 5 years without power. And also, whenever something would happen to the box, all the lights would go off. So this is for pretty much, if this box does its job one time and saves your crop, you're already a winner. We have the possibilities to do as a sensor to your home alarm system, or you can put 2 ECMs on there. Those are electronic relays, and you can actually do like different auxiliary equipment, switch it on and switch it off, like CO2, humidifiers, dehumidifiers, heaters. There are 2 15 amps relays.